Hi, I'm your host, Rae Irelan, and you are listening to the Soul Aligned podcast, where we help high achieving leaders and driven visionaries do what you love and live your purpose. Welcome to episode 13. We are going to be talking about morning habits of successful people today. So last week I shared about an attitude of gratitude and the importance of creative systems to consistently bring these practices into daily life. So today I want to expand on this topic of practices in daily life and really look at some of the other practices that I've implemented in my life to create what I like to call holistic success, where there's success in career, in finances, in personal life, in the impact that you're making. So this practice has totally changed my life. I was just thinking back to when I first started implementing some morning practices, and it really started out from a young age. So since I was a little girl, I always loved and I wanted to be inspired by how efficient a human could be. Like, I was super into organization, and I would organize all the books in the living room. I would move around the furniture until it was in this perfect place, and that was really easy to just sit down and, okay, where can I just read a book? Really efficient practices, how to create those. And so I realized as I was younger, I kind of started to focus on, well, how fast can I go in life? If I set all these things up, how fast can I go? And so at some point I realized, wait a sec, it actually isn't about going as fast as I can, but there's also this component of what is the quality at which I'm moving. So it became now, okay, I want to be efficient, I want to be fast, but also I want to have this really rich, fulfilling quality of life as I do so. So it became less about the finish line and more about the race itself and what I was experiencing during this race of life, right? And in a very playful way. So the deeper I went into this, the more I found that preparation was a key focus point that needed to be heavily addressed and focused on before moving forward. So for instance, it was like the Nutcracker that I did too many years to count. Okay, we'll say it was 15 years straight. Every single year I was in the Nutcracker. And so what would that look like? It looked like we would rehearse, and then we would rehearse for probably 3 months, and then we'd have our show in December. And we would do maybe 4 shows, sometimes two to 5 shows, I would say. So the most important part was those rehearsals, right? We did that for 3 months and then maybe had 3 shows. And so it really taught me about the quality, because you didn't want to dislike all the rehearsals and then just like the performance. That made it miserable. And that's why a lot of people ended up quitting. And so I found out, okay, I need to really enjoy this. And I did. I enjoyed the rehearsals. But what was even behind the rehearsals was more of the preparation. It was the classes that you would take to continue to progress and evolve as a dancer. And so I found out the most important piece was actually to keep going to the regular classes, because if you miss the regular classes, then you would actually be taken out of the rehearsal and out of the show. Again, it comes down to that preparation. What is that foundation that you're laying for yourself in your life? And so that was when I really started to learn this lesson of preparation. And so my morning practice began to get stronger and stronger as I became older, and I started to notice that it opened up more space for me to understand really what I wanted, and sometimes more importantly what I really didn't want, which a lot of times we can get into these places in life where we realize we don't really like what we've set up, what we've created, and that's okay. But if we can't even be aware of it, that's where a problem comes in. So I want to share a quick story also when I was in a deep practice of my morning routine. And so I had been doing it for about 6 months straight. And I'll share again, a part of my journey has been doing the morning routine and then falling off of it, right? So I really like to share about sustainable and consistent practices, so that way it's not, a roller coaster that you're trying to hop onto, and then things are good, so you like let everything go. But it's really about building up that consistent stream forward so you can be prepared as best as you can for your everyday and in the meta scale for your life. So back to the story. So I was doing my morning practice for about 6 months at the time. This was a new kind of upswing, and the space that it created was that I was able to hear more clearly what I wanted, what I didn't want. At this point, I noticed as I was sitting and doing a piece of my morning practice, which I'll share what my routine is for inspiration or some guidance if anyone needs it. So I was sitting as part of my practice, and I heard and got this feeling that I needed to leave my band that I was performing with at the time. We were touring all around the US, doing 20 shows a month, nonstop. And I really found out that that actually wasn't what I wanted to continue doing. This was a very difficult lesson for me to realize, because it's something that I had built up and grown, and I had been dreaming of the days where I could just be living on the road, playing my music and touring. I couldn't think of anything better before. But once it came, I actually realized that it was not the full picture of holistic success. It was not totally aligned with the lifestyle I was wanting to create. And in this moment, because I had that space and time, because I was doing these regular check-ins in my morning practice, I realized I'm seeing a pattern that I don't like and I want to change it. And I know what I want to change it to, because I want adventure. I want spontaneity. I want to take a courageous leap of faith. And that is what sent me to India for the first time. And in that morning meditation, I will never forget it. I heard a voice and just really felt, okay, you need to go to India in 2 weeks. Because my morning practice was so built up and consistent, I knew I could actually rely on what I was experiencing. And I took that leap of faith. And long story short, within a week of being in India, I was performing in front of 10,000 people, speaking during International Women's Day, meeting some of the most profound and impactful and loving leaders in India. So there's a whole lot more to that story, I'm sure you can feel. But it started off with the morning practice, which is why I'm sharing it with you today. So after many years of really studying the morning practice, I've now narrowed it down into 4 categories that I hit every single morning. And just like my favorite bowl of ice cream, sometimes, occasionally, I'll add anything from chocolate syrup to whipped cream to a cherry to almonds, or sometimes all of it, right? Depending on how I'm feeling. This is exactly how my morning practice is as well. So I have these 4 key categories that I always hit. It's like the baseline. And then if I want, depending on the day, I add or subtract whatever else I want to do. So I call these 4 practices the 4 M's. So we're going to make it really easy and clear. The 4 M's, that's it. So the first M is meditation. The second M is mantra. The third M is music. And the fourth M is movement. One more time. Meditation, mantra, music, and movement. These are the 4 M's that I have created in my morning practice. Now, again, you can feel free to try this on, see how it fits for you. I have a lot of clients, many women that I've shared all across the world that use this practice because it does hit kind of all these key pieces. But if there's something else that you feel more called to doing, do that. I just want to give this as an example of how to create a sustainable morning practice and a consistent one. So I just love this morning practice. So I have the meditation. I feel like when I do that first thing, it really empties my mind. It empties my body and gets me to connect with something that's greater than myself. This has been the most important piece because I knew that I've always wanted to have and implement a deeper meditation practice. What I found was I would wait until later in the day or even until the end of the night to do my meditation. And by that point, I was so filled up with knowledge and information and distractions, and the days day-to-day life and conversations and to-do lists for tomorrow and all the things that I didn't do today. Like, I was way too filled up to get into a meditation where I could just be. And so when I do this first thing in the morning, it is so helpful because I'm able to actually just tap in and drop into my meditation in a really easy way. So that's why I always do that first. From there, I do mantra. Mantra being any like affirmations, and this could look different depending on your own spiritual practices. But for me, I'll usually choose 3 to 5 mantras that I'm working with in a time. Sometimes that is like, I'll use those same mantras for usually around like 3 months at least, if not 6 months or a year, and then I'll switch them out and use whatever feels new, fresh, and exciting. So I use these mantras, I speak them out loud if possible, and I really feel like they are done, they are complete. Some of the morning mantras that I've been working with, just to give you an example, are I am a powerful woman, I create epic art, I am a money magnet, I attract miracles, the universe works fast when I'm having fun. These are some really fun things to bring into your body, into your system. And when I say them out loud, some mornings I might not be feeling like that. So it's a practice of getting back into that energy of really owning the truth behind the mantra. There's a key piece of not just saying it, but really feeling the mantra. That's what's most important. So that's why I don't have a huge list where you can't really feel each one. Narrow it down, if anything, to just one mantra that you can really sit in and be in and experience the truth of that mantra. And so then I go into music. I love to turn on some music. Sometimes it is really calming, kind of meditation music, just to let everything slow down. Another mantra I've been using lately is I have plenty of time. So sometimes if I'm feeling rushed or anxious, I use that to just slow down. Other mornings, I'm like, I gotta get going. So I put on some fun music and kind of jumpstart the day. The movement comes along with it. I love to just be able to move a bit. Sometimes that's like literally while I'm brushing my teeth and I'm like, yeah, it's Tuesday and I'm brushing my teeth and there's some music playing. Or maybe it's just like while I'm getting ready and putting on some clothes. Or it's a full movement practice, I put out the yoga mat, I go to a dance class. So whatever that is, maybe go outside, go for a walk, go for a run, doing some physical movement to literally wake up the body, right? Get it going, get it ready for the day. That helps move the blood, bring oxygen to your brain. You're able to be working at a much higher level and be able to produce better results when you have that physical body awake as well. So those are the 4 pieces, and then some of the bonus kind of toppings that I'll add on some days. It depends on really how much time I have and what I'm emotionally or physically needing. Some things I like to do are a journal entry and planning intentions for the day. So the journal entry, sometimes it's just free writing, 3 pages, just getting whatever's in my mind out there. Sometimes it's more about the intentions that I want to be setting, and sometimes it's the goals that I want to be hitting for the day. Something where I'm just writing my journal, my calendar, my planner, whatever that looks like. Other bonuses I almost always do this every morning, is I have lemon water to just kind of wake up my body, get the digestion going. And there's different morning blends and herbs that I sometimes add in to really just get my physical body at its top health potential. From there, sometimes I have a cup of tea or a mushroom elixir, something like that, something really yummy. Some other bonus kind of morning ritual sprinkles that I put on, or if I'm getting ready in the morning, maybe playing dress up, really having fun with what I'm wearing. Also small acts of completion. And I want to be careful while I'm saying this, because I think a lot of times people can get caught up in the acts of completion to where their entire day is filled with, let me just complete things, instead of actually working on the things that are most important and that have priorities where you can actually see results from them. But sometimes even just 1 or 2 acts of completion can really help jumpstart the day. So for instance, making the bed, like that literally takes 30 seconds, maybe 60 seconds, depending on how many blankets and pillows you have on your bed. But just making it and having that completion and being like, okay, I did this, awesome, check. That can feel really good to kind of get your body, your mind, everything in that motion of I can complete things throughout the day. Sometimes it's maybe taking my water glass and just like rinsing it out by the sink. You know, it can be simple, but that's something that is also just, it's been really helpful to just rewire the brain. I can complete things. I can complete things. A lot of times we're okay starting things. We get excited and there's this inertia. Completing things to follow through is what we are usually having more difficulty with. So that's why that can help. So I take all my clients through this, and then we discover what works for them and what doesn't work. From there, we create a personalized plan of action for them to start implementation, and they do this every single morning, and sometimes even other key moments throughout the day or the week for these very high performance results. So this works, right? I've seen it work with thousands of people all around the world, and it can work for you as well. So you know, what are you most called to trying out? What are you most excited about? What sounds like fun? The healing journey is never ending. That's why I choose to understand what I love and must do every morning versus what I have to do, or what would be these like additional things that like don't really matter. So that way I can be really focused on what's gonna bring me the results that I'm wanting in my life. What's gonna fill me with the most love and excitement for life and for living every single day. So if you're watching this, take some time to write out a morning ritual, and I challenge you to practice it for at least 10 days. See if you need to make any adjustments. If you do so accordingly, but see if you can really stick to what you end up writing down. So don't change it too much, because a lot of times if you're trying to change something after you've already wrote it down and said, this is what I'd love to do, you know, you're feeling the energy from this video, you're excited, see that through, see what happens and what adjust in your life if you were to create this solid morning practice. Remember, this is a practice of consistency. That's the first and foremost. So don't go too above and beyond, like, oh, I want to do like these hundreds of things and then go ride a horse and then go scuba diving and then write a song and then I'll get to my work. Like, you know, you need to be realistic. And so creating a practice that is consistent is going to be very helpful. So go ahead and check out and download my free morning gratitude checklist in the link below. This is going to really help you on your new journey. And, you know, maybe you've been doing this for years and you just want to fine tune it. Maybe you need something new and fresh to spark that morning energy, or maybe this is your first time ever doing this. Use the checklist to help you, to guide you, and to be support for you. So find that link below, and you can go ahead and start your day off on the right foot with gratitude and with that feeling of like, yes, I'm awake, I'm alive, this is awesome. So thank you so much for checking out this video. Subscribe and ring the bell if you haven't yet. And if you want to check out more videos, make sure to tap the screen right there.